Can you sue someone for killing a family member in a car accident? Each year in the United States, more than 1.26 million people lose their lives in traffic accidents. There are many fatal accidents in which the victim dies instantly at the accident scene, while many other victims are treated at trauma hospitals before, sadly, succumbing to their injuries. Losing a family member in an automobile accident is something that no one ever thinks will happen to them, until it does. This can be especially difficult to accept if your loved one was taken from you in an accident that could have been prevented. Emotions are running high for the surviving family members of a driver or a passenger who was killed in a motor vehicle accident. Anger, shock, grief, and heartache often consume the surviving family members' lives after a fatal accident. They are often left with questions and aren't sure what to do next. A majority of traffic accidents occur when one or more drivers involved in the crash acted carelessly, recklessly, or negligently. If the accident results in the death of one or more victims, the driver may face criminal charges. The district attorney in the area where the accident occurred will look at several factors before they decide if the driver was criminally responsible for the death. The district attorney will consider the following when making their determination. If the driver disobeyed or ignored driving laws, like engaging in acts of road rage or speeding, if the driver was driving recklessly, if the driver was under the influence of alcohol, if the driver was under the influence of drugs. So, can you sue someone for killing a family member in a car accident? The answer is yes. The estate of the deceased victim is able to file a civil lawsuit called a wrongful death action against the driver who has legal liability. What that means for the surviving family members is there has to be someone to seek compensation from. The accident had to have had, at least partially, occurred because of the wrongful actions of someone other than your deceased family member. All motor vehicle accidents are different, but in accidents where the driver's actions or inactions caused the wrongful death of another person, the driver and their insurance company will have a legal liability to anyone who died as a result. A wrongful death attorney will investigate all avenues to determine whether there are any additional parties who had any fault in the fatal crash. The investigation may include looking at: was there a mechanical failure? Was the driver overserved at a restaurant or bar? Was there a design problem with the roadway? Is the driver's employer liable if the driver was working when the accident occurred? So, who has the right to sue for wrongful death? Spouses, children, including children who are adopted, parents of unmarried children, life partners, financial dependents, a putative spouse, parents of an unborn baby who died in the accident, anyone who suffers financially. Now, you are probably wondering who can be sued for wrongful death? The at-fault driver, the employer of the at-fault driver, the person or persons who gave, sold, or overserved the intoxicated driver, the owner of the place where the alcohol or drugs were served, the manufacturer, the distributor, or the installer of a part that was defective or dangerous, any government official who did not provide sufficient warnings about a road hazard that resulted in an accident, the builders or designers of a faulty or defective road or highway. If you've lost a loved one in a fatal accident, we know that nothing will take the pain you are feeling away. Local Accident Reports is the news that bridges victims and resources. These resources are available to help anyone who may be struggling emotionally or financially after the sudden loss of someone they love. Our goal is to make this difficult time of grieving and loss a little easier and less confusing for everyone affected by the accident. We have partnered with some of the most experienced and knowledgeable wrongful death attorneys in the country who will listen to your concerns and answer all of your questions. We are here to help. Contact us today to see how we can help you and your family.